Hey, I'm Josie. Growing up in Auckland, New Zealand, I'd always dreamed of seeing more of the world. At 18, I left home and moved to Sydney for university. Then earlier this year, I took a trip to Europe, where I visited Munich, London, Amsterdam and Paris, before flying over to New York and then California for my 3-month exchange at UC Irvine. If I could go back in time to give myself some advice, here's what I would say. I want you to keep an open mind. Embrace the opportunities you've been given, make the most of what you can, and don't go in with too many expectations.
Struggling to meet up with Lisa. I got up at the wrong stop!
I know that you originally wanted to go on exchange in New York City, but then UCID offered you the UCs in California instead. I know you then hoped for UCLA or UC Berkeley, but ended up being sent to UC Irvine. It might be disappointing at first, but you end up loving UCI, maybe even more than you would have UCLA or UCB. At UCI, some people are making the most of their exchanges by partying as much as possible, attending every social event and making countless friends. You personally prefer to have a small number of close friends, and after a handful of frat parties, you realise they're not for you, which is okay. Arguably, the best thing you've gotten from this exchange is rest, recovery from burnout, the books you've had time to read, and the curiosity you feel about the world again. It might not be what you thought exchange would look like, but I think it's what you needed. Going on exchange requires a lot of admin and paperwork. Things like visa applications, applying for academic approval, sorting out your accommodation, health records and travel plans. Let me tell you right now, your life would have been so much easier if you hadn't left everything to the last minute. The university doesn't help you out a whole lot, so you need to figure things out for yourself.
Do you want to explain the significance of why we're eating this meal, Lisa?
It's basically a Germanized version of the Turkish dish called döner.
So beautiful. Like Lisa.
Don't worry, things fall into place. You manage to expedite your visa interview and enroll in 3 easy elective classes that fall on a Tuesday to Thursday schedule, leaving plenty of time for weekend trips. After a last-minute lease cancellation, you check every possible Facebook, Discord and Reddit thread, and eventually find another on-campus room to sublet. Here, you'll meet your super cool roommate who, by coincidence, is on the same flight with you back to Auckland.
The adventure continues!
Somehow, she also ends up being seated next to you. Maybe some things are just meant to be, so there was no need to stress so much.
Sitting at the Seine.
And Ali, do you want to say hi to the vlog? That's not really going anywhere.
Oh, hi. Hello.
Sorry.
Sorry, I was popping on my jumper.
Yes.
It's very focused.
Yeah, no, he's from Sydney, so he can't stand the cold.
Yeah, this is like 19 degrees and I'm suffering, so...
Is it 19? I don't
it's
think it's above
definitely
20.
more than 19.
Lisa and I are out.
We're in a little dress.
Yeah, literally. It is not that cold. But yeah, we're sitting by the Seine in front of the Eiffel Tower. Crazy. Like what? Yeah.
I've heard that song so many times here, it's crazy.
It's such a nice song.
Yeah.
A few months before exchange, your best friend suggests you take a trip to Europe beforehand. It seemed crazy at first, but when you sat down to figure out the details, you realised it really was quite doable. With planning, privilege, and some sacrifices, Europe and New York didn't end up being nearly as expensive as you thought it would be. And with a smartphone in your hand, you pretty much have all the tools you need to navigate your way around a foreign place.
Hello, we are currently studying the metro map.
Some of your favourite memories come from weekend and week-long trips to other cities. You will not regret booking that last-minute ticket to the East Coast.
so it's yeah, it's a pretty decent area. Like, you got the hospital area, which is it's its own city, literally.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you been there?
No.
Okay, so if we get close.
From the random guy you meet at the park who shows you around New York City for an afternoon, to the other exchange students that you become friends with, the people you spend time with on exchange will make all the difference. Traveling is one of the best opportunities to meet people outside of your usual circles, to hear a little bit of someone else's story and get a glimpse into a completely different life. Obviously, use your judgment, but overall, I found that strangers tend to be nice people. So, make an effort to put yourself out there. Go to different events, make plans with that person you vibed with, and start a conversation with your Uber driver. I know you're kind of shy and it feels awkward and scary to do this sometimes, but now you have friends from all over the world, and I think that's pretty cool.
Thank you for everything.
We're having a tour of San Francisco by Steve Jobs. So, you know, would you like to tell us more about where we are right now?
Similarly, don't be scared to reach out to people you know in different places, even if you're not that close.
Lisa, how was our first day in Amsterdam?
It's actually unexpectedly really good. Like, I've enjoyed everything so far. And the city's really picturesque, so
You're adopting my
love it.
vocabulary now.
yes. No, Alka's vocabulary. You've adopted Alka's vocabulary.
Yeah, look how beautiful.
Some of your favourite experiences will come from meeting up with friends of friends, old classmates, and someone you became friends with while she was on exchange in Sydney. Because of people you've met, you've been able to tour Oxford colleges and hear stories from students across California. You've been kicked out of a Wharton class at UPenn and seen Cornell students throw dead fish into an ice rink. It is so much fun to see a place through someone else's eyes.
When you were applying to them?
It's been almost overwhelming how kind and generous people have been. And when there is someone that doesn't want to hang out with you, they probably won't, so there's no harm in reaching out.
24 hours in Cornell is now done. Thanks to Alison for showing me around.
Social interaction can get tiring, and you don't always have to force yourself to be with others. Don't go out if you don't really want to. Read a book instead, and plan a solo trip if you feel like it. Yes, doing things alone can be scary. Sometimes it feels like people are judging you, or maybe you just don't trust your navigational skills, which is fair considering how easily you get lost. But there is also so much freedom in knowing you can do things alone if you want to, without having to worry about anyone else's preferences. Spending a night alone at the airport or eating a meal by yourself can feel lonely sometimes, but it can also be kind of liberating. Once you trust yourself enough to do things alone, you start to feel a tiny bit invincible. Of course, traveling solo also means you should take extra precautions to stay safe. Make sure your phone has enough data and battery, do your research, and prioritize your own safety. Don't be afraid to cut a trip short if it means you can avoid feeling unsafe as you walk around at night.
Well, in your hair for him. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited. I just don't actually know that many of his songs. But whoa, look at the venue. What the heck? Where are we?
Oh, hi! Rodeo Drive.
Yay! I don't know what else to say. Doing a lot of window shopping because our wallets can't handle real shopping.
I mean, someday when we get
Someday, not today.
not today, definitely not today.
You're traveling on a budget, so you have to be intentional about how you spend your money. You know what you want out of traveling: to learn more about the world, meet some cool people, and to gain a better understanding of yourself too. A lot of these things aren't that expensive. You can learn a lot by people watching at the park, observing the eclectic mix of people that call New York City home. By taking long, meandering walks around London and letting your curiosity guide you. Spending a night by the Seine, talking with friends while the Eiffel Tower starts to twinkle. You thought you'd hate sharing a room with others, but living in hostels ended up being perfectly fine. You barely spent time in them anyways. Your supermarket meals are just as enjoyable as the ones eaten at restaurants.
It's a meal deal?
Yeah, I literally always eat this.
And I'm proud of you for not shopping while in Paris. Yes, it's possible to resist the temptation to shop.
You just said, Jessica, that I'm very happy right now. I'm also vibing with the music. Yeah, literally. Why are we happy though?
Because we got a lot of stuff.
Where's Ariel's?
Ariel also got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I wish you did differently, it's that you could have put more effort into your classes. At the end of the day, you're on exchange to learn. And even if classes feel easy or only give you pass-fail grades, you're wasting a valuable opportunity to learn by not paying any attention in lectures and doing the bare minimum in tutorials. Yes, sitting down to do your readings and turning up to all your lectures doesn't always feel like fun, but learning isn't supposed to be fun all the time. It's supposed to be challenging and thought-provoking and make you a better informed, more knowledgeable person.
Wait, is it actually the first university?
So it depends on how you define university.
Why do you say
So I
that?
think it's between Princeton and Penn.
Really?
Kind of. So the first college is Harvard. It's the first college.
Wait, what's the difference between...
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So like, Penn was like, well, the first university is the first school that put university in its name. So that makes Penn the first.
I see.
But apparently, like, Princeton also has some sort of like contention.
Really?
I know that the semester in Sydney before you left for exchange was a difficult one. I know that it was the loneliest, most lost and withdrawn you had ever felt. I know you spent a lot of time talking to your camera because it felt like you might not exist otherwise. It got to a point where you didn't even want to travel. You couldn't see the point in this trip that you had worked so hard for and didn't feel excited about the prospect of seeing all these new places. I know you spent a lot of time wandering around aimlessly in Munich and sitting at the English Garden, watching the world pass by and feeling like you weren't a part of it at all. But I also know that things slowly got better, that you would laugh in London for what felt like the first time in months and genuinely mean it.
Why are you laughing at me? I don't know.
You would stand at the top of New York City and marvel at the magnitude of it, in awe that all of this had been constructed out of human hands and sheer determination. You would eat good food, with people who enjoy eating good food just as much as you do. And for that moment in time, not worry about the future, problems at home, or the feeling that you weren't getting anywhere in life.
Just so I got to, but there ain't nothing I can do.
You would have those moments where you think to yourself, this is what life is.
Life is so good right now.
We're outside.
Right now, you feel happier and more like yourself than you have in a long time. So many things are temporary, but feelings, challenges, people, homesickness, life. Things change, so hang in there.
My first ever attempt at a s'more. Wow, it's a moment in history.
You are at the gate 1 hour before departure.
It might not feel like it while you're abroad, but you'll realize it when you come home again. You've changed and grown and gained a new perspective on many things. You've realised how much you can fit into a backpack and how little you really need to get by. You surprised yourself in many ways about your own competence at navigation and your ability to take care of yourself. Regardless of how your travel and study abroad experience goes, whether you had an amazing or horrible time, I don't think you can come out of it without being a slightly different person to the one who stepped into that very first airport. That, to me, is valuable, and why I think that if you have the opportunity to travel, you should take it too.
Don't you wanna know that the ride is yours? Don't you wanna roam away? Don't you wanna